Well, when it comes to planning for retirement, millions of people opt to enlist the help of a professional financial advisor.
But choosing the right advisor can be overwhelming. We'd like to introduce you to Darrell Bryant. There he is. He's the president of Bryant Retirement Strategies, and he hosts Retirement Strategies Radio on KFAB here in Omaha.
And he's here on the Morning Blend. Good morning, Darrell.
Hi,
Good
Darrell.
morning. Nice to see you guys again.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. So many options out there. How do you know which financial advisor to choose?
You know what, Mike, I think that you can probably break the advisor camp down in a couple of different sides, unfortunately. And then the consumer is left to decide. You have the at-risk group, okay, you have the what we might call the investment guys, the stock bond jockeys, et cetera. So we're talking about individual trades, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, those types of things that ebb and flow in value, right? Yeah. And so there's that camp, and then you have where money management is concerned, you have the other camp, which would be the more protective side, which would fall under the camp of more insured products, safer routes, CDs, annuities, and things like that. Nothing wrong, regardless of what you see on the internet or what you hear on anywhere on the radio, there's nothing wrong with either of those camps. The problem is that we have this rock throwing going on from one side of the table. You have the the Prudentials and MetLifes and Mutual Omaha's at one end of the table, and they're throwing rocks at the Smith Barneys and the Merrill Lynch's and the Ed Joneses, and they're both good camps. There's nothing wrong generally with either side, but the problem is ordinarily, by and large, most guys don't know what's going on at the other end of the conference table. So it's really important, in my opinion, to try to find somebody that understands both of those ends, especially as you move into retirement, where you have some really important decisions to make with respect to growth and protection and a lifelong income.
So you spend all of these years working and making money. You're investing it with somebody who ideally is helping
Your
you
life's work.
grow that money at
Yep.
some point. They're not just taking it, but they're growing it for you. And then it comes time to retire. You recommend transitioning at that point and going with somebody who specializes because you've got some special issues to think about at that point in life.
I think it is important because, to be honest with you, Mary, when you're in the growth phase, it's pretty easy to grow money. It's pretty easy to show somebody how much they should be setting aside or just how to manage money. If you're in my line of work, that's not a very difficult thing, to manage risk and put portfolios together and use tools and all that kind of thing. As you move into retirement, that phase, it is it's crunch time. You're in what we would call the red zone, etc. We're talking about what we call life after the 401k, and now we're responsible for making really, really critical decisions. We have Social Security, we have pension settlement provisions, we're going to start taking income, we're going to start setting up for that income. Well, how am I supposed to do that? Should I be setting up and taking dividends? Should I be transferring to safer routes? What am I supposed to do to coordinate all of these guaranteed income streams, such as pension and Social Security type stuff, and then also take my life's work and fold that in and create your own personal pension plan, because nobody else is going to do it for you, right? It's a very critical time, and in my opinion, we have 10,000 baby boomers moving through every day in this country.
Wow.
And they're all looking for help. What am I supposed to do now? And my industry is a little slow, to be honest with you, in responding to that and saying, listen, we're going to have to sit down and just walk through a checklist. It's not that hard. I mean, it's difficult, but if you know what to, if you've done it a few times, then it's, there's a few boxes you do need to check.
Yeah, well, you've got that checklist, but I can understand why people still have some anxiety, even if they've selected their advisor in that initial conversation.
Yeah, that's true. We see that anxiety when people come in for the first time, even people that might listen to the radio show for years and so forth, and they kind of even know us, as a group. They still have a little bit of anxiety, and the reason is because I think it's just the unknown. What am I supposed to do? There's a little bit of apprehension. How do I measure up? Have I done enough? Am I supposed to be embarrassed? Should I be proud of what I've done? I mean, where do I stack up? There's a lot of that competitive nature in us, and then that fear of, have I done enough, and how do I set this thing up, and am I going to understand this, during this meeting? So that's understandable, but I think we do a pretty good job at reducing the stress, and that's really what you need to find somebody that can talk on both ends of the conference table and can reduce the stress level and just say, okay, what do we have going so far, and what are we trying to accomplish? What's the target? And let's start doing some math, and let me show you how things break down.
We have an awesome special offer for you this morning, but before we get to it, Darrell, what is that first visit like? Let's settle some of the anxiety even more What's that first appointment?
Well, first of all, there's warm cookies, so that goes over pretty well.
Good start.
I like your style.
Warm cookies and a cup of coffee or milk definitely brings the blood pressure down. The first meeting is really just kind of a get to know one another and see if we're a fit for our clients, and just have a chat and what's going on. We strongly encourage both spouses when they come in. I'm a fiduciary and we take that very seriously, so we want anyone who has a voice to be heard, naturally, and so it's really not that stressful. Once we sit down and say, how you doing, the stress level really comes down, I think. Our objective is simply to show people what we do and how we might be able to help them, and then have just a snapshot of what they're doing so far, and then see if it's a fit. And if it's not a fit, then we need to find them somewhere they can go where it is a fit.
Yeah, and your goal is to make it really easy. And for those people that are nearing retirement right now, here's the special offer that Mary had talked about just a few minutes ago. The first 20 callers are going to receive a complimentary appointment. Give them a call right there, 932-2141.
Yeah. This is a significant offer because Darrell's office books far in advance, but they've done something special just for the 20 of you who call in first. He has set those appointments aside, so you don't have to wait till June to get in to see him. You can start to get your retirement affairs in order now and before it's too late, especially if you'd like to retire in 2016. And remember, Darrell joins us each week, and in between visits, tune in to KFAB or visit DBryantRetirementStrategies.com.
Yeah, some really valuable information, especially for those people nearing retirement.
Well, thanks for
a lot
having me
your
on.
time.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so.
Darrell.
Yeah.
Guess